Welcome, everyone, to this peculiar video where I will talk about the curious relationship between metal and the world of showbiz. These are characters who, as actors, artists, or famous singers, appear all the time in various media and belong to a mainstream world we don't usually associate with metal. The truth is, behind several of the most recognized faces worldwide, there hides a metal spirit with which we can identify to some extent. In this video, I will specifically talk about 12 celebrities who can be considered metalheads. As always, some names will be left off the list, but I can mention them in another video later. So, welcome to Keep Metal and to this video about celebrities who like metal. Number 12, Jim Carrey. One of the most beloved comedic actors in history is not only known for his eccentric acting style, but also for his peculiar relationship with metal. The most well-known instances where he has shown his closeness to this music were his suggestion to include Cannibal Corpse in a cameo in his well-known 90s movie Ace Ventura, an iconic moment for metal, and his interview on the Arsenio Hall show, in which he does a mini-parody of Napalm Death. Additionally, in several interviews, he has mentioned more bands, notably Pantera, as one that has impacted him the most. Number 11, Demi Lovato. The sometimes unfortunate pop princess from Disney Channel had a period during her adolescence when she was quite close to metal. Besides claiming to have grown up listening to metalcore and deathcore bands, her favorites being Bring Me the Horizon and Job for a Cowboy. One of her main anecdotes was going to a concert of Unearth and Dimmu Borgir, where she lost one of her shoes while getting into the mosh pit to reach the front of the stage. Number 10, Stephen King. The legendary and veteran writer of several of the most famous horror and science fiction works in history, such as The Shining or the Dark Tower series. Besides being an influence for hundreds of metal songs that address his stories, he has also openly declared himself a fan of several metal bands. On his Twitter, he has shared very positive comments about bands like Metallica, Black Sabbath, Slayer, Motorhead, Anthrax, or Judas Priest. Mr. King keeps it very classic. He has also stated that he frequently works with AC/DC or Guns N' Roses songs in the background to give his days some mystique and power. Number 9, Triple H. The legendary WWE wrestler, Triple H, is a perfect example of how well metal fits with wrestling. Triple H was well known for having one of the most brutal entrances in competition history, where the mighty Motorhead accompanied him, playing the theme the game for several WrestleManias. Besides that, which is already the most metal thing one could ask for, Triple H has said in interviews that his favorite band is Metallica and he often wears their shirts everywhere. In fact, on one occasion, instead of using the song Motorhead made for him, Triple H entered the ring with For Whom the Bell Tolls as background music. Very epic indeed. Number 8, Nicolas Cage. Many people associate actor Nicolas Cage with metal because a few years ago, several photos of him posing with his son during a concert of his black metal band Eyes of Noctum went viral. Even so, according to Weston Coppola Cage, his dad has slowly started to get interested in more iconic black metal bands, especially Darkthrone, Satyricon, and Dimmu Borgir. Although Nicolas himself has said in interviews that he doesn't like church burning, musically, he is drawn to it because of its close relationship with classical music, which he also enjoys. Quite a cultured character, Mr. Cage. Number 7, Post Malone. This well-known trap singer, or rather a trapper, has never hidden his relationship with rock and metal. In interviews, he has said that during his adolescence, he was in a metalcore band that went nowhere, where they mainly covered songs by Asking Alexandria. Later, he has stated that Megadeth and Pantera are also among his favorite bands, and a few years ago, he did a controversial collaboration with the Prince of Darkness, Ozzy Osbourne. Moreover, in some live shows and interviews, he has sung songs by Rage Against the Machine or System of a Down. It's not the most metal thing in the universe, but it's quite a lot for someone who dedicates themselves to a style that is light years away from metal. Number 6, Sir Christopher Lee. The acting and theatre legend, Christopher Lee, best known for his roles as villains and dark characters like Dracula in the 70s or Saruman in the adaptations of The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, was a well-known metal fan. His first known approaches were his participations with bands like Rhapsody in the song The Magic of the Wizard's Dream and Dark Avenger by Manowar, where he lends his deep and grave voice. Besides that, he released 2 conceptual power metal albums based on the life of Charlemagne, albums for which he received the Metal Spirit Award from Metal Hammer magazine, given to him by none other than Tony Iommi. A great Sir Christopher Lee. Number 5, Lady Gaga. In many interviews, Lady Gaga has declared her love for metal, all originating during her youth when she worked in a bar where she learned to love classic bands like Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, or Metallica. Additionally, she has been seen several times on the streets wearing Slayer, Stryper, or Motorhead shirts. Also famous was her response when asked what her favorite metal song was, to which she replied that it was undoubtedly Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath. And, of course, that rather cringe-worthy performance with Metallica at the 2017 Grammys. Number 4, Michael Fassbender. the renowned actor has declared himself a huge fan of classic metal, confessing that his favorite album is Rain in Blood by Slayer and attempting to form a metal band when he was a teenager, as his dream before becoming an actor was to be the lead guitarist in a band like his idols Iron Maiden, Megadeth, or Metallica, bands he even fantasized about playing with. Unfortunately, in his town, there were few metalheads, and his metal band was just him and one of his friends, and after a depressing show in a bar with middle-aged people, they dissolved what could have been the greatest metal duo in Universal history. Number 3. Norman Reedus. One of the truly metal celebrities on this list, the star who rose to fame for being one of the most iconic characters in the series The Walking Dead, has always been seen at various metal concerts and festivals, in addition to having several tattoos referencing Motorhead and a special love for thrash metal. He has often been seen at concerts of bands like Slayer, Exodus, or Death Angel. And a few years ago, he even got on stage with Anthrax to play bass in the iconic song Guindians. Number 2. Prince Harry. We reach royalty in this list with the former member of the British royal family, Henry of Sussex, or more popularly known as Harry. The son of Diana, Princess of Wales, and Charles, from his youth, had a huge taste for metal, from recommending the presence of Ozzy Osbourne and Tony Iommi for the 50th anniversary of his grandmother Queen Elizabeth II's reign to having songs by bands like Metallica, Slayer, Megadeth, and more current thrash metal names like Municipal Waste and Power Trip on his iPod. Metal infiltrating even the supposedly most hermetic royal families. Number 1. Joko Widodo. And I end this list with the current president of Indonesia. When the guy won the elections in 2014, more than his political victory, his musical tastes went viral. Despite growing up and being the leader of the country with the largest Muslim population, Joko Widodo is a declared fan of metal and grindcore. His favorite band is Napalm Death, and he even had his own band of this genre. Since becoming president, he has said he listens to the entire spectrum of rock and metal, from the classics like Led Zeppelin, Metallica, or the aforementioned Napalm Death. This has led him to make friends with several members of those bands, who, when passing through Indonesia, always receive a visit from Joko Widodo. Well, if you liked what you saw, besides the like, it would help me a lot if you comment and share with your friends. Subscribe if you haven't already, click the bell to receive all the notifications from YouTube, and follow me on my social networks on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram for more complimentary material. This has been Dan Keeper from Keep Metal. See you later.